I've burnt 100,000 on podcasts. It's the time you can't get back.
Well, one guy that I've just been really diving into that I've been really liking his content. Yeah, you know Dan Martell?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Bro, he got a great philosophy on just like even his book, Buy Your Time Back.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal book.
Yeah. It really just ties into.
Did I tell you to read that book?
No. Bro, we're tapped in the same type of guys that are, mentors.
I was saying, okay, yeah, PVD must have put that book out.
Yeah.
We're live, another episode of Adversity Kings. We got special guest Jackson. Jackson, is it Mayers?
Mayers, yeah.
Mayers. Let's go, big dog. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long day, but I knew because I was in the area, I figured we had to pull a podcast out.
Yeah, and you drove to like IHOP or something.
Bro, he sent me the address and I typed in by accident Boulevard instead of Ave. And I just made a quick look and just posted, and then I ended up realizing I was 40 minutes away. So I had to turn that
called
around.
me. He's like, I'm at IHOP. And I was like, that's not where we do the podcast.
I'm like, this doesn't look like your caliber thought for a podcast.
Like, we're not getting pancakes, dog. So, no, that's hilarious. So you're down here for, is it another Patrick Bet-David event?
Yeah, I'm here for the Vault.
The Vault, yeah. He pushes that sucker hard.
Yeah, he does. It's I went last year. That's kind of where I started. That was my first opportunity to go and see him.
Yeah.
And then I went to the SLS where I met you. And then now I'm back here with a few of my teammates that run the business with me, as well as one of my employees. So I and a couple sisters. So just trying to bring the whole family, get them get their mindsets right. And,
so what's the Vault consist of? How many days is that? Is it?
So I think it's like 3 days, 3.5 days.
Wow.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of components to it. Obviously, there's the learning component, but then they also have guests. So I think this year, Nick Saban's going to be there. Yeah. I think The Rock is going to be there.
I saw The Rock.
I think Will Guidara, and then a couple others. I can't remember them all. But it kind of mixes in with just the learning components as well as networking. I mean, I met you at a PB event. I know I'm going to be meeting a lot of other guys. So
how many people go to the Vault?
I think last year was 3,000, and this year they're at 10. So 10,000. He's definitely growing the brand for sure.
Yeah, that's insane. And what's the entry level ticket?
Entry is also not bad. That's how we started out. I think it was like $800.
Yeah,
and then it goes all the way up to like $15K.
Yeah,
and so depending on where you're at. Last year we just kind of bootstrapped it, so figured just go to the lowest one. And then this year most of my team's going to the lower one, but I decided to go to the highest one, so that way I can be in the rooms with the guys that are doing way more than me, so I can
inspiration,
obviously, inspiration, motivation, and honestly just absorb as much knowledge as I can from those guys. So when we go back up north, we can go crush it for the rest of the year.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
So where were you born and raised?
So just outside Toronto. I always say Toronto because if you're from the States, you have no idea where London is, but it's basically 2 hours from Toronto. Yeah. And so to make it simple, I just say Toronto. But that's where I was born and raised. So sick.
Okay, so but like, what's the story with this? Like, where are parents from? Like, what's the whole?
Yeah, so my dad is from like Barbados. That's our background. And my mom is Scottish. So they actually met at school. Growing up, he was definitely a bit of a savage. Yeah, and that's kind of where I think a lot of the drive and just striving for excellence comes from. Yeah, because I saw him. He was a realtor as well as an investor. And he always just, kind of taught us and instilled in us early that you really can do whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it. There's tons of ways to make money, and you don't have to go the traditional route, which is where I think when it came to school, he didn't actually care about what grades we got. He more so cared about like the effort and the hustle. And so whenever I came to, bring my report card home, it was never about the grades really, but it was like, are you putting in the effort? Are you trying? Are you, trying to do your best? Yeah. And so when there was, S's and N's, that's when, things got bad. But I think that's honestly really, really what's pushed us to be able to get to where we are now and where we will be going. It's just instilling that work ethic from such an early age. Wow. Yeah.
And so I would imagine then, were you closest with your dad then growing up?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I played sports since 3. I started playing soccer at 3. That was my main sport until about, high school, and then I switched over to basketball. Yeah. And then from there, I went to university and played basketball there. So it was always weekends, going to soccer trips or, training in the morning or things like that. So he was always there doing that stuff. And so it was certainly a blessed upbringing, to say the least. Yeah. But honestly, just being able to go from such an early age and getting the fundamentals down has really helped us get to where we are now in business.
What'd your mom do though growing up?
My mom, honestly, she was in, she like took care of people. And so she was like helping people get jobs and stuff like that. And so they split when I was about like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And so she was single mom, just, doing whatever she can, raise us three.
Did you live with mom or you live with dad?
Both.
Okay,
but mostly dad. I would say it was like 70-30.
Yeah.
Which I think it was good just because my dad is a lot tougher on us.
Yeah.
And so, moms, they can be, they can
soft.
coddle you soft like that, which is what you need at some points.
Yeah.
But as you're growing up, I was definitely not the most well-behaved kid. So I think if I was too much on the soft side, I wouldn't have been able to, get my act right and be sitting here today. So
yeah. 1,000%. Okay. So what was like after 7, 8 years old, parents go through divorce, you start to get into the middle school, high school phase. What did life start to look like there, aside from sports, but like more so like the actual shaping of your life? What things were happening in between middle school and high school that kind of shaped your life?
Honestly, I never had a real job, to be honest. I was always trying to do hustling stuff. So the entrepreneur spirit was there for me. I always was trying to find ways, kind of finesse things. I don't know. I just was a kid, honestly. I honestly didn't really get into the whole business thing until later on, but I was always doing little side things here and there. Honestly, sports was really my main thing. I didn't do anything else really but that in school. And so, the younger Jackson was just a goofball that liked to play sports and compete.
Were you the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest of the siblings?
Yeah.
And how old are you again?
I'm 25.
Okay, so you're 25 years old. You're the youngest of the siblings.
I have a half brother that came in after, and he's 18. Yeah. So the difference, but between all the other siblings, I'm the youngest.
So you're youngest. You got the most pressure on you, but simultaneously, you're probably also like kind of the baby of the family. But you have the most expectation, I imagine, as well, of everybody looking down like, oh, what's he gonna do?
I always I was the type that I would put that pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to, beat them and stuff. So even when we did sports, playing soccer or, doing cross country, I was always trying to beat them all.
Yeah.
And my dad definitely was someone who put a lot of pressure on me as well in that regard.
Now, was there a moment in growing up, middle school, high school, college, that you had like a self-realization awakening per se of like, man, I got to be doing something better with my life. I got to be doing something different with my life.
Yeah, mine came a lot later. I know you started your stuff when you were 18.
Yeah.
I did start my business when I was 18, but in reality, I didn't really start until I was 21.
Yeah.
When honestly COVID hit and then basketball stopped, school stopped, and then everyone obviously was staying in their houses, not doing anything. And I was just like, this can't be it. I've got to be able to do more. And so picked up my first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, as obviously many entrepreneurs start with that. And then I was like, you know what? Books are actually useful. And so that's when I started reading that, and that's when I got into PBD's content. And then I started actually looking into the business, trying to grow it more and spending more time into it and actually consuming and living the entrepreneur, lifestyle that a lot of people glamorize, but, don't actually live it. And so that was it was late. It was late. Yeah. I wasn't someone who, at 15 was reading books about business. I was definitely just messing around, having fun. But once things stopped, I was able to transition where a lot of people still didn't. Yeah. A lot of people took that time to get caught up on all the Netflix and, just do a bunch of stupid stuff. But fortunately for me, I was able to, with my brother who runs the business with me, really dive into the business. And that's what allowed us to, scale up quickly.
Yeah. Now, when college and everything, like how long did you do college? 2 years?
So I actually did it for 5, played basketball for 2, but the back half, I was mostly doing the business, honestly.
Okay.
It was like online. I was just kind of bullshitting, but really I was running the business while I was in my last 3 years heavily.
And then how did you identify, like, have you been doing the same business for the last 5 years?
Yeah. So originally I started out as like a window and gutter cleaning business because it's, lower barrier to entry. Yeah. It's just easy, knock on the doors. But then as the past few years, we actually shifted from that to more renovation, construction. So we do exterior gutter, we remove them, repair them. We install gutters, fascia soffits. So it's a little bit more of a higher ticket, and it also has a bit more of a barrier to entry. But from what we learned with the window and gutter cleaning, that doesn't require much. We were able to then transition that over into the higher ticket of, the gutter space. And so now we're just really focusing on growing that up, We're probably gonna be opening up another location next year. And then I've actually started getting into coaching as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys, again, I'm year 7. The amount of money I've spent on coaching and, just trial and error, trying to spend money in this advertisement, stream, or trying to figure out which services I want to do or how to do them, how to sell them properly.
Yeah.
And then how to actually multiply myself is something that most contractors have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you call most businesses, they probably won't even call you back for 1. 2, their website looks like shit. 3, when they come out, they're probably going to be late. They're probably not going to look proper. They're not going to be able to provide you with an accurate quote of what they're going to do. And then when they start the work, they're come back and tell you, ask for more money. Yeah. So there is a golden opportunity for those who are able to, learn how to market, sell, and fulfill, and also build a team. And we're at that stage now where we've got, 15, 20 employees. I've got a sales team. I've got marketing. I've got the production side. We've got an admin side. And I kind of now am outside of the business, more so just managing.
Yeah.
And so now that I've been able to really go through every phase to get to where we're at, I just know that so many other guys are it's going to take them so long to get there.
Yeah.
And if you're able to, my biggest weakness, I would say, or my biggest regret is not getting coaching specifically on contracting when I started out. I wanted to save the money on the coaching to just try it myself and be like, I don't need that. I'll figure it out on my own, because there's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
But ego is the enemy. I mean, if you can take your ego away and say, I don't know anything, let me get help, let me invest my, money, which ultimately will save you time to get this thing right as soon as possible, man, changes the game. I mean, obviously for you, you're doing coaching, you're helping guys doing the same thing in a different space. But you can talk on this a lot. Guys who wait to invest, and then by the time they invest, they could have been so much further along.
Yeah.
But they choose that to save the money, hoard the money, and not think of abundance, but more of scarcity.
Yeah, and I like to separate the two, because unfortunately, you can't even use the word coaching now because it's so diluted in the market, because everybody and their mother's a self-proclaimed coach.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even use the word. I'll just consultant. You know what I mean? And even mentor sounds scammy now. So it's like, what separates you, myself, and others that are like legitimate. Like, I spent the whole day yesterday on a yacht with a guy, and I'll give his first name. His name's Eric, and he exited a company for 115 mil plus, and he put his head down and he worked for 13, 14 years and built this sober housing company. Exited for 115 mil. And when you listen to our podcast, he explains millions of dollars were coming through, $1 million were going out. So what I call is like the rich poor. It's like you're making more money than you've ever made, but you're still breaking even.
Yeah.
You still have these feelings of anxiety. You're behind. You're anxious. You have no idea. Maybe not necessarily that you know what you're doing. You know what you're building, but you just don't understand like why you don't feel like you're getting ahead. And what's cool is we spend the day on his yacht, and we're about to leave. He parks his yacht by everybody else's yacht. These just $50 million yachts and $100 million yachts. I have no idea even the value of all these yachts. And we're about to leave, and he pulls me and my girl aside, and he says, listen, I want to come here. And he points at all these yachts. He says, I want to show you something. I was like, what? In my mind, I'm thinking like it's like a Lion King moment. The sun setting. He's like, I want to show you something. I'm hoping he's going to say, all these yachts are mine and yours. And but he looks at me and he's like, do you know how many of these yachts are owned by an online coach? And I'm like, no idea. He's like, none. And it hit because it's factual. And he's like, I got this yacht from putting my head down and building for years, building a legitimate business, legitimate results. And now it's like, he's got some consulting that he does within the space that he's in, and some Section 8 real estate as well that he does. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, this dude's he's never asked me for $1, never pitched me anything, just gives me sauce, bro. Just gives me game and everything like that. And it makes me reevaluate of like my life of like, yeah, I've done millions of dollars of income through the life insurance space. I consult specifically in the life insurance space and help people there and show them how I've utilized social media to build up my insurance company. But when I think of it, I'm like, dude, there's so many times I've just given stuff away for free, and I've grossed a $2 million. You know what I mean? Since 18 years old. He's netted $100 million.
Yeah.
He's giving me this stuff for free. And it makes me reconsider, like, all right, don't get ahead of yourself. Because it makes me a couple bucks, makes me feel good, the validation, this, that. But I'm like, he's right, dude. Like myself, the people that are building businesses, like, we do everything we can to expedite the process. That's why we invest into the mentorship and the networking events. But sometimes the expedition is just the path. It is just the 10 years. It is just the 15 years. And expediting it is just not quitting, because everybody else is going to quit. Everybody else, like others have gone down the gutter path, the reconstruction path, and they had better skill set. They had more resources than you. They had more access to just different things that you just didn't have access to, and they gave up. You know what I mean? So like the biggest thing that'll separate you from everybody else is not giving up. When I look at it and I'm like listening to the story and I'm thinking on it, like, dude, this is the fire, this is the reassurance. These are the people you need to be surrounded by. And I'm like, I told Eric, you know what I mean? Like, just not cheesy, not weird whatsoever. It's like, this is the energy that I want to be around. You know what I mean? Like, this is the shit that like I align with. I want to, like, if this is what wealth really is, then awesome. Cause like, this is where I want to be. All these other fakers that fake it, especially in Miami, dude. It's just fake douche Miami energy, bro.
You see tons,
wild, a significant
shit.
amount of people. It's like the craziest shit. Everybody here somehow wakes up at, 1:30 a.m. and went to bed at 12 a.m. You know what I mean? And is somehow doing burpees, cold plunges, reading the Bible, but then you won't see them post again until like 11 a.m. So it's like, it's this facade, this fake stuff that people put on to try to sell to idiots. And the idiots are waking up. The idiots are starting to wake up and realize, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's like if they're waking up at 1:30, 2:30, 4:30 a.m. every single day and not posting again until 11, and everybody's saying the same exact thing over and over and over again of like, you need to read and pray and do your push-ups and sit in the cold tub and you'll become a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you hit the nail on the head. You like, if you had someone specifically in contracting to show you the analytics, the actual numbers, the actual data, the actual things you needed to say, do, hear in contracting, that would have been far more advantageous for you than any other dollar spent. I always tell people that, like, when they're like, they hit me up for like, what sales book should I read to sell more insurance? You should get more reps and you should talk to me that I've sold millions of dollars of insurance. You know what I mean? I'll give you the actual specific data and language to life insurance. But if you asked me how to install a gutter, I would be a scammer. If I was like, I have the perfect gutter installation process. I couldn't build a fucking cabinet. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't put together, like, if it came with, like, we just ordered we ordered some furniture from IKEA. We moved to our new place. I told my girl immediately, I was like, I don't care if it costs thousands of dollars. I'm not building a thing.
Man, I just made that mistake. I bought a standing desk for my office. Bruh, I thought it was going to be like 30 minutes, 4 hours later. And let me tell you, like, it was the most aggravating 4 hours. Like, I'm sweating there. And like, this might sound crazy because, like, men should be able to build things, whatever. But honestly, that 4 hours I could have been spent recruiting, hiring, training, selling, whatever.
I'm about to make you super sick. So let's say you gross $1 million of revenue this year, income revenue, whatever. Gross $1 million, put it on your 1099. And the average work week in America is represented by 40 hours. So to make $1 million, you basically essentially make $25,000 a week. If you take $25,000 and divide it by 40, that's $625. So you spent $2,500. You spent 4 hours. You spent $2,500 of your life. More importantly, the money we don't care about. That's 4 hours of your life you never get back. That's where I argue with individuals when it comes to college. It's not a matter of me arguing about you burning 100,000.
No,
I've burnt 100,000 on podcasts. It's the time you can't get back.
Well, one guy that I've just been really diving into that I've been really liking his content. Yeah, Dan Martell?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Bro, he got a great philosophy on just like, he has a book, Buy Your Time Back.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal book.
Yeah. It really just ties into.
Did I tell you to read that book?
No. Bro, we're tapped in to the same type of guys that are, mentors.
I was gonna say, okay, yeah, PBD must have put that book out.
Yeah. But honestly, and it's just like whenever there's a task, your job is to learn a task and then replace that task with a higher leverage task.
Yeah.
And I would say that building a desk hasn't been a relevant task in
Ever.
I can't tell you how long. But I did it because I was just like, whatever, I'll just do it. But that type of mindset is what ultimately slows down the growth. And that's why I think a lot of new contractors or trades guys don't understand that. They think that because, they don't have to pay a laborer $25, they're saving that. But it's like you're actually costing yourself hundreds more by having your time tied up to you, hammering away or drilling at something.
I don't even take a shit myself. Too much time wasted.
I mean, look, you got to try. You got to
pay someone. No, I'm just playing. No, but I swear to God, dude, laundry, the house gets clean. Like we have cleaners, laundry, and people are like, you just love burning money. No, I love controlling my time, analyzing my time. And listen, this is not like because I think a lot of kids, they'll get an entrepreneurship, they'll get into sales, they'll start to build a business, and they're like, I need an assistant, I need to be the CEO, I need a cleaner, I need laundry, I need this done. I lived the last 3 years of my life on a fucking couch in my office. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I'm starting to make content on that. And it's like, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes in that a lot of people don't see. And like, I should glorify more. And I've been an idiot not glorifying because the scammers glorify instantaneous, results, instantaneous satisfaction, instantaneous, like just instantaneous shit that like, have you ever microwaved a steak?
Let me ask you then, why do you think you haven't been doing that? Do you think it's because you didn't want to be perceived as somebody who's struggling the way that you actually, everyone actually struggles when they're trying to make it?
No, I think it's a little bit of that, of the insecurity of like, especially you come to Miami, bro, and there's a 10-year-old that gets out of a Bugatti and you have to remind yourself like, oh, that shit's rented or their dad got it or something like that. So
I'm in the same boat. Like I'm trying to start posting my own content and it's tough because
as men, we're biologically wired to want to be the best.
Exactly. And when you have to show I'm not the best,
contest,
when I have to show, hey, I screwed up this contractor. Hey, I hired this person and they screwed my business for 2-3 weeks and I lost 10 grand. It's like, it's a side of vulnerability that you don't necessarily want to show people because especially if you want to coach them, you don't want them to see you making mistakes because then they might not think that you're as good as you say you are.
That's why I love the Eric podcast because he was like, nah, dude. He's like, the reason I'm even like vibing, like your energy is because you're real. You know what I mean? So he's like, you have to be real.
Yeah.
You just have to be real. If you're real, you don't compromise. It's like, there's going to be stuff you don't want to put out. You don't want to consistently just look like an idiot. You know what I mean? It's
of course.
Every piece of content is, is another thing I like, dude. You keep taking L's. When do you get a win? But like,
when do you get the grill at the end,
Yeah, dude. But like, so it's like, but people don't realize like, shit, dude, 70-80% of entrepreneurship is taking an L. So it's like, it's like 5 days out of the week, you get punched in the face, and 2 days out of the week, you give it back. But like, it's a matter of getting back up and not giving up. So
well, that's it. I mean, Hormozy made a good post the other day. I don't know how long ago, but he said like, the harder it is, the more excited you should get because the less likely others are going to try and keep going and push past that.
Yeah.
And so for me and my brother, man, we've taken so many hits that, I see people, randomly that I was in high school with or after high school and they ask me what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, still the gutter business. Like, you're still doing that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, buddy. Like, of course, like I'm not going to deviate from the plan until it's successful. And until it's successful in my eyes into where it's been able to been, maximized.
Yeah.
And then I'll go look at something else. But until it is fully maximized, and I've gotten every single thing out of it that I could, bless you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to just deviate from it. There's been times where I wanted to. When shit gets hard, you see the woman in the red dress and, ideology of, having a thing that might be better off in the short term. But knowing that you're going to hit the same, villain every time, it's just a different business.
Yeah, it's weakness. This is why I love Muay Thai. Is my coach is an absolute insane nut job. And I love it because I look him in the eyes and I see myself, I see this, if honestly, like if fighting didn't destroy your brain and turn you into an absolute potato, you know what I mean? Yeah. I would spar every day And I would put my heart and soul into going to the UFC and becoming a world champion. I just don't want to be 42 years old and be,
fucking brain dead.
you know what I mean? But what I love about fighting is life is a fight. Life. Like you'll hear weak people say, life is a dance, go with the flow. That is not what life does. Life wakes up and punches you in the stomach, kicks you in the face, and says, I'm taking your money, I'm taking your girl, I'm taking this house, I'm taking this person you love. Yep. They're dying today.
Yep.
And you have to figure it out. And you can give up, or you can dance with it, or you can fight back.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, he said this. He said, we're all training. There's 3-4 of us. We're sparring. And again, I'm not there to kill anybody, but I'm absolutely there not to lose. I kill everybody. Yeah. And then he says, he's like, at the end, he's Argentinian. He's like, listen, all of you were like weak today. Tristan, great attitude. You kill everyone. And he's like, it is easy to live. Or no, this is what he said. He said, it's easy to die. Just give up, die. It's hard to live. You have to expect living to be hard. If you anticipated this shit to be easy, just die. That's the only thing that's easy. That's what I've been telling myself. He's like, death is easy. Keep going. I'm in there, dude, like gassed out. We're on 5 rounds. Keep going. Death is easy. Just imagine this crazy art. I'm going to show you a picture of him real quick, dude. Yeah. This dude is a killer. Just imagine this killer in your ear just going, death is easy. Keep going. This is a dude. This is my I sparred with him the last round.
Oh, he looks like a savage.
He's a killer, dude.
Yeah.
He's a killer.
He looks like a savage.
He's an absolute killer. But that's the mindset, is like, death is easy.
Have you read the book, Hard Times Create Strong Men?
I don't know if I've read the book, but I've seen the picture go around 1,000 times with Mr. Biden in office and everything we've lived through for the last 4 years. Mr. Trudeau. Yeah. I saw some great footage on him. These
strong masculine men leading us into, flourish.
How's the saying go again?
So I think it's hard. Strong men create good times.
Yeah.
Good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
Yeah.
I think I might have missed one more, but yeah, it's like. Yeah. And it's so true. I mean, look at the economy today. A bunch of softies in the offices, and it's a pandemic of just weak men and guys that aren't wanting to do the work. I mean, it sickens me when I see guys that have potential that just don't want to work hard.
1,000%.
Like the amount of recruiting calls that I've done where I see go through applications, and I'm sure you've done the same thing where you have on Indeed or whatever, and then you call guys. And they just sound so soft. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't have a job. You haven't had a job for 6 months.
Is there paid time off? What are the vacation days? What's my base?
Base to me with sales pisses me off the most.
It's disgusting. It's weakness.
It's disgusting. And
it's weakness. It's disgusting.
It's like, do you not believe in yourself? Yeah. Oh, if my compensation plan sucks, then why is this guy making 10 grand a month? Why is this guy making, if it sucks so much?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just you. Maybe you don't have the confidence, and this isn't the line for you. But you can't tell me you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to have your security, but then also be able to have uncapped net earnings.
Yes.
And have both. You can't have both, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it pisses me off. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. When I hear that, instantly phone call's done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't even take them anymore. I don't, like for me for recruiting and the insurance. I filter everything. I've got 2 assistants. I've got a legitimate assistant, and she's virtual. And then I have my mom, who's my
Your mom works for you?
Yeah,
bro.
So my mom's one of my assistants.
You gotta leverage what you got,
1,000%. There's no better person to trust than your mother with your information. You're like, there's a lot of people in this world. You'll always hear nobody loves your business as much as you do. Your mom does.
Your mom does. My mom worked for me for 3 years.
Yeah, bro, your mom does. So
yeah,
I'll filter people through my mom, my assistant, the managers within my organization as well, and we're all partners. So it's like I'll filter these people through. You got to work your way up through the ranks and everything like that. And what I've realized is people you can pick up on energy. It takes me 0.2 seconds to pick up on somebody's energy. If you take forever to respond, like your communication sucks, you have no urgency, then you're not going to have any urgency in getting to this money.
I'll give you that, man. Listen, your urgency is, I've never seen somebody pick up a phone so fast. I'll call you randomly you'll pick up the phone within one ring.
Yeah.
Like that shit doesn't happen.
Oh, no.
And so to me, from the first time meeting you until, just our constant conversation and whatnot, you're just the same guy then as you are now. And I can see the same on screen, like that you see online versus in person.
Yeah.
It's the exact same shit, but it's genuine. A lot of guys, when you meet them, it's almost like a letdown.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably felt that same way when you meet a guy in person that you looked up to online.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, you're like,
yeah,
you're not what I expected.
Yeah. The realest of the real has been Eric. Like I hope you come down to Miami and stay down in Miami long enough, or shoot him a follow on IG. He is the realest I've met.
Bro, you know what's funny? I seen your post and I was like, are they on a yacht? But then I seen trees. I'm like, nah, maybe they're not. I don't know where he is. The next swipe, I see Eric's and I see you. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, that's the realest, bro. He's
Yeah.
the realest I've met so far. So I'm still working on PBD. I texted his
Mario?
the sales reps he got. The girl that sold me the SLS is Taylor, and I'm actually gonna have her come down and do a podcast. And I'm just talking insurance. I want to get some insurance advice from her because she's connected with PBD.
Yeah.
So, but dude, like urgency, character's hard to expose initially. Character is exposed over time, but you can kind of get an idea in regard to somebody's character by how they conduct themselves to an extent on social media. Their conversation skills, how they present themselves, just simple stuff. But I think between urgency and not being a weirdo, there's just some people that are weird. It's like, you're weird, so I can't do business. Like people that can't take jokes. I've responded to so many people, and I wish I wouldn't have, with like a joke or something, and they were like, "What?" And I'm like,
they don't get it.
They have no idea. Like, dude, if you don't have a sense of humor,
it's tough. It's really tough.
Well, usually it's usually an indication of somebody that's entitled and like hasn't really gone through anything in life. Because if you've been so privileged, because humor I think directly correlates with like depth.
And like has a little bit of truth to it.
Yeah, because when you've been beat the hell up in life, dude, like it beats the ego out of you.
Yeah.
Like when you like that's why I love fighting. Is because when I have this weakness inside of me and you get punched in the face and you're getting destroyed, I no longer can be egotistical. I'm getting annihilated right now. I'm getting like my teeth kicked in. I got a black eye, and it's like, it is what it is. There's no room for ego. So now it's just, I'm just one with God. This is it. This is who I'm beating myself to the core. And what I've found in that is like, all you have in these moments of, you have nothing left in the tank, you're being physically beaten, and like you're just looking at your life and thinking like, dude, when the hell is it like going to be my turn to step up and elevate and evolve in every aspect of your life? And you're in that ring. And there's a couple things you have. You have your faith. I'm talking to God, and I'm thinking about the women in my life. I'm thinking about my girl who I love and adore. And I'm like, if I'm going to die, it's going to be on my feet. This man I'm fighting right now is going to have to punch my chin in until I fucking die. Like, I imagine my girl's in here watching me. So this is what I'm envisioning. I'm like,
yeah, that can do it.
And I'm sitting here thinking like, if I'm in this ring, and the ring is life, but it's also me physically fighting. I'm like, in this life, I'm going to go and give my all until I win or until I die. And that's how she will watch me leave this world, on my feet like a soldier. I think of my mom in the same exact way. If my mom is not like, I don't care, your mom, they want to pull you out of the ring of life. They want to pull you out of the ring of fighting.
Yeah.
It's okay, baby. I want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think of myself as like Alex Pereira when he knocked out what's his face and pushed him off. You watch UFC?
Of course.
When he pushed off the ref was he fighting Jamal or something?
Was it a recent one?
Yeah, the recent one where he pushed off the ref because he got the nut tap.
I can't remember the guy's name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
he just struck him, dude. And I'm thinking about that. It's like, dude, something you got to push mom back and say like, dude, I'm going to go to war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if this is the most motivating for a young man and this will get you, like, I don't care if you're in the slumps right now, you're a young man, you're an older man, is imagine this. And if you don't get fired up, imagine, I don't care what relationship you have with your father. Close your eyes and imagine your father watching you right now and you give up. It's not a thing, dude. I don't care what relationship you have with your father. We are biologically wired to want to
earn the respect
of your father, of the man that you share a name with, that you share blood with.
Yeah.
And so I think of these things. I'm in the ring of life. I'm in the ring of the fight. And I'm thinking of my faith. I'm thinking of my girls. I'm thinking of disappointing my father, I'm like, it's impossible for me to give up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's impossible for me to compromise character. It's impossible for me to submit to weakness and just sell out my soul and just think, oh, I'm just going to do the easy route. What's the easy route right now in the economy to produce a significant amount of revenue? Everybody and their mother is claiming to be the online coach. You know what I mean? That this easy money is never long-term money. It's biblical.
So what is your path for that? Like, how are you navigating
how I'm
doing
navigating
the coaching or consulting or mentorship or leadership, it takes, whatever. How are you navigating that versus also doing your insurance? Like, what is your plan with?
It takes an extreme amount of transparency. I've never done business without being transparency and alignment.
Yep.
And if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Like I'm not going to coach somebody on dunking because I don't dunk, but I'll coach somebody, I'll consult somebody on building $5, $6, $7 million life insurance company on an annual basis, because that's what my life insurance deal does. Now, could I coach somebody or consult somebody and say, I'll help you build a $70 million life insurance company? No. You know what I mean? So it's operating within my niche.
When you get there.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I think. I think
you can't help somebody get something you've never gotten. You know what I mean? And then it's just absolute scam to take this self-help, basic fundamental stuff and sell that and then flip that into selling that of like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do this and I'm going to teach you how to do that. And then everybody's teaching everybody how to like how many people can teach people how to do cold plunges and burpees and you know what I mean? Like it can only extend so far, you know what I mean? And like I've had this issue in the insurance industry of people just regurgitating the same stupid stuff to build their insurance deal. And I'm like, why don't we teach people how to sell insurance instead of meditating all day? Because that never closed a deal for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to meditate and sing Kumbaya and do push-ups all day. Here's what made me money in sales. Calls, door knocks, calls, like appointments and presentations made me money.
So walk me through what your day, 18, 19-year-old Tristan looked like when you were just getting into it.
Oh my God.
Versus your day now, 24, 25-year-old Tristan. What do they look like? Like, walk us through a day then and walk through a day now.
So 18, 19, dude, it honestly, I don't even know. It was God that was, the Holy Spirit was moving literally within me, because I was sleeping 2 hours a day. And it's not like these idiots that make it up. Like, you can actually call people that were in my circle and it's actually physical witnesses of, the kid slept 2-3 hours a day and didn't take drugs. I wasn't doing drugs. Maybe energy drinks, you know what I mean? So it's but even then it's like, wasn't like a shit ton of energy drinks. But so it would look like, man, I'd get up 4 or 5 a.m. and I would start with 10 pages. I'd read 10 pages. I was reading The Secret. It's one of the first books I got through. The Secret, Think and Grow Rich, another book, one of the first initial books. So a combination of these books I was reading, and my first 3 months were the hardest and the craziest, the first 3 to 6 months. And so from there,
were you starting your business, or were you an agent for somebody else?
Yeah, I was an agent for somebody else. So I was an agent for my old business partner. With my old business partner, I was in his agency. I was an agent for him. And so I'm waking up 4 or 5 a.m. I'm doing 10 pages in a book and working out. And then I'm driving up to the office that's an hour away from me.
Okay.
And I'm getting to the office by 7 a.m. and I'm only listening to audiobooks. I'm in my mom's car. My mom let me use her car. I don't know how she got to work, so I can't even think, because we had one car.
She made it happen.
Yeah, maybe we had 2 cars, but we had my mom's 2010 Chevy Cruze, and I think we had like a 2002 Honda Element. So maybe she used the Honda Element to get to work, and then I had the Chevy Cruze. I'm getting to the office by 7 a.m. So we lived in Greensburg. I drive up to Wexford. It's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I get there 7 a.m. I'm listening to audiobooks this whole first year, 2 years. You couldn't ask me what music was. I didn't know what music was. I would listen to music during the workouts, but I didn't know what music was outside of a workout. All I knew was audio books, sales books. I would record my presentation and I would listen to it over and over and over again while I was riding in the car. So I would wait at the office from 7 to 8 for someone to show up. The guy that trained me in the insurance business, his name's Brody. He's got a McLaren, Porsche GT3 RS, Ferrari now. He did well in the insurance deal. But he trained me, and he would show up at 8 a.m. He's the first one to show up after me. And so, but like, it was an indication, like now, it's like he's the best. You know what I mean? So he showed up first for 10 years, and now his life's great. But he'd show up, I'd be reading a book and have an audiobook on, and he'd make fun of me. He was like, "You're not learning anything." You know what I mean? Because I was reading and listening to an audiobook.
Was it the same book?
No, different books. I'd be reading an
I was gonna give you credit there.
No, I'd be reading a different book and having. This is how sick hungry I was, bro. Like I didn't have the guidance. I was so sick and hungry. I'm sitting there reading a different book than the audiobook on. You know what I mean? Waiting to get started on sales training. And I'd be in sales training and I'd have to like perk up like this because I'd be so exhausted. And then from there, I'm sorting out paper leads all day and calling paper leads all day and night. I'd call them and then I'd go start driving and knocking on their doors till 9:30, 10. Then I get back home 11 or 12. I'd get a couple hours of sleep. And when it really started getting crazy is like after the first week or two, they released me. And so they gave me permission to go out and start selling. Made my first sale within the first week, made like $2,000. It was sick. And some old lady, I just randomly knocked on her door and she's like, yeah, I want to upgrade my life insurance. I wanted some life insurance. And it's like, sales is literally just a numbers game. But then my territory was 2 hours away from home. So now that first couple of weeks of getting that 4 hours of sleep turned into 2 hours of sleep because I would drive back and it'd be 1 a.m., 2 a.m., still get back up at 5 a.m. I fell asleep. My first time falling asleep was when I was getting the insurance license because I stayed up all night to get the insurance license. I fell asleep 5 times behind the wheel and hit every side of my mom's car. Every side. At one point, I had to get out of my mom's, the passenger door of her car.
Damn.
I would pull up to your house to sell you insurance and I'd be crawling out of the passenger door. And sometimes like in the winter, remember when in the winter when it was like super cold and snowing, I would leave the driver's window down and I would do like a NASCAR. You know what I mean? I would like go in through the window. You know what I mean? Like this type deal. You're like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, the car's slightly damaged. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But like, dude, that was the first 2 years was 24/7. If I didn't get a sale, I told people this the other day. I was like, I would look up 24-hour like stores. And I would go into the store and just start talking to employees, like stockers, like if they're stocking in shelves. I'm like, hey, I'm just in the area. I'm a life insurance agent, and I'm just stopping by to see if anybody would be interested in insurance. I never sold any of them, but absolutely, there's no way in hell it was like, I'm going to make a sale or I'm going to have a real issue. There's going to be a problem.
So tell me, what was it like when you started getting your own agents? What was it like your first few? Was it rocky? Was it smooth sailing?
It was rocky because I was nuts. And I would tell them, yo, you should work so hard that you throw up and you don't know what day it is. And nobody is like that. So like I scared a lot of people away. I brought in a lot of my friends originally and like we're not friends anymore or something. I'm still friends with them, but like, you know, I think you show a certain level of like maybe insanity or however, you know, they want to like label it. And it's like, man, you know, my goal is never ever to hurt anybody. My goal is never to be like, try to seem like I'm there's people that run circles around us, bro, in third world countries that work 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? Real labor, real pain. And that was never my goal. My goal was like so much passion that I knew and I know that life insurance sales can change somebody's life. You can make hundreds of millions of dollars in the life insurance industry. And I was sickly passionate about it. I still am. And dude, that was always that's where the obsession came from. So it took me 2 years before I even got an agent to stick. And I was recruiting from day one. Nobody stuck. It was just me. My first 2 years out of high school, I made $300,000 and it was all from personal production. You know, people were like, can you make money selling insurance? Dude, you can make hundreds of thousands. You can make millions of dollars selling the insurance without a single soul. You don't need anybody. You understand? So it's like, I had the confidence of like, at the end of the day, I can print bread with you or without you. So the rest is on you. But that's what that was like, man. It was insane.
Yeah. And now fast forward today.
Fast forward to today, it's a lot different, man. So I look at my schedule now. It will be, I'll get up 6 a.m., eat my rice cake with the shorty. She's real crazy with the lifestyle food. So we'll eat a rice cake with some peanut butter and dates. That'll be the pre-workout. We'll work out 7 to 8. And I'm checking emails and texts all night long. You know what I mean? So like I wake up every other hour or so. I'll text you back at 2 a.m. So I'm checking. For me, money doesn't sleep. So it's like the schedule more now is more communication of me, emails, leads. I look at everything as a lead. Every human being I'm talking to, they can lead me to $1. You know what I mean? I don't need to close you, but you can lead me to $1. That's what a human is, a lead that can lead you to an opportunity or to $1. Who can you lead me to? I need to know, or who can you lead me to that can pay me? So all day and night, there's a lot of phone calls, emails, putting out fires, creating new money, whatever it might be. But the first call starts at 11 a.m. every single day. I'm running sales training we've got about 300 agents. And sometimes only 30 agents will hop on, and I won't care. I'm like, hey, look, all 300 of you can hop on, or 30 of you can hop on. The brand new ones, the veterans, et cetera, whoever's hopping on can hop on. Because now we have a virtual operation. They're all over the U.S. I got guys that run their own companies within essentially my own company. So it's cool. I'm not going to fight you on like running your own deal. So I'll do 11 a.m. call. I'll create content. And the content creation is pretty much all day long. I'm trying to have a camera on me all day long. And then from there, I'll either have 2 to 3 podcasts a week. I try to keep that minimal. And I try to have life insurance content, life insurance activity at a max. And then I also
Where's the
created
life
a new
insurance
company.
content? Where do you put that?
Life insurance content for me is everywhere, dude. I put it on TikTok. I go live a lot. So I'll be on TikTok lives a lot. That gets me a lot of just decent exposure. You know what I mean? I could get 5 to 10 leads on a daily average from TikTok live, because you're just it's unregulated. They just pump your content out to everybody. Whereas Instagram's only pumping out really to your followers, So I'm pumping out content pretty much all day long. And then I'll run other calls, pretty much all life insurance related. Then I'll have other guys pay me to, speak to their life insurance companies or something like that. So,
yeah.
And then the little consulting.
If somebody was, obviously you've got 200-some thousand followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
If somebody was to start out or wanting to grow theirs, what would be your advice? You can be talking to me. Let's say me. I'm trying to grow mine up to just get more exposure for whether it's the coaching or whether it's just whatever it is. What would be your advice for that? And how long is it taking you to get to where you're at now?
Dude, so it's first off, so the followings are all they're good, but they're all bullshit.
Like they're vanity metrics. They're like they boost the ego, but really it's not the metric that matters the most.
Yeah. So it's not as relevant as like I'll share like with what like, and this is just more sauce from Eric, is like the shit's not that relevant. Most of it's not that real. Like I don't even like my shit will pop off, and then a lot of my shit will just get mediocre engagement. And I'm like, this shit's way more fire. And you idiots just want they just want surface. So I'll get more engagement. It's almost like girls. Like I'll get more engagement when I post a stupid picture of me flexing 6-pack or flexing lifestyle, out with cars, out on the yacht and stuff like that. Surface level stuff. And it just goes to reflect how surface level and weak most people are. And then I post deep stuff of the years of pain and process and what it actually takes to build a legitimate business and how I'm still going through the process, and it's still painful and it still hurts. And, people will be like, I'll get 100 likes, 200 likes, or just a couple thousand views. And I'm like, you guys are dumb. You know what I mean? Like you just want it fast. You want instantaneous results. It's not going to happen. But when it comes to growing, here's what Eric said. He's like, dude, like the quality of the content doesn't come from the cameras. It doesn't come from the money that you put into the actual content creation. It comes from the process. Like the content is created, the quality of your following and growing your engagement and growing your page and growing your brand comes from the process of becoming who you need to become by building your business for a decade and putting your head down and doing the work and documenting that journey. You understand? And being vulnerable and being open about that. Because now you separate yourself, because you cannot fake building real shit. No. Because the price is usually, it's like the common denominator is a decade. Like 10 years of real work, putting your head down, going to work, and like you're just focused on growing and developing a legitimate business. It's going to come with a lot of pain and struggles and adversity, and just like things are just going to happen that are like going to require you to be an absolute dog. And now you're in the top 1%. So now you've separated yourself. So like it's supply and demand. If there's an excessive supply, guess what? There's going to be there's not going to be a high demand. Yeah. If there is high demand, there's usually low supply. What the lowest supply in the world right now is transparency and honesty. People aren't real. They're not real.
And you're getting a really intense version of it being in Miami.
You're getting the intensity. So people don't realize the BBLs in Miami are the least of the fake shit. Like they think the girls have a super insecurity. The real BBLs in Miami are these fake ass dudes with these rented cars. 4 of them living in these, they're all roommates. You know what I mean? In the buildings down here. You know what I mean? It'll be like 5 of them living in a room together, a rented car, a fake ass watch. You know what I mean? Just all, and it's like, then they'll make fun of the girls and be like, she got a BBL. Bro, you're wearing a Folex. You know what I mean? What do you mean she got a BBL?
Yeah.
She's not the insecure one, dog. She's a girl. You know what I mean? Let her add a little mid to her butt. You spent thousands of dollars on creating a fake life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the real insecurity, the real makeup here is really by most of the men and the boys that are trying to skip the process. You can't even call them men. Most of the boys that are skipping the process of building a real life. And it's sad because they'll rent everything, get the fake stuff, and then make content on it. And if you want this life, contact me. We'll do push-ups together. We'll do the cold tub together. We'll read this book, and you'll get rich too. And it's like, oh shit. A lot of people get scammed on that shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And what works is the work for years. That's what works. That's what grows content. That's like, and not even grows content. That's what grows legitimate engagement. Because you have to figure out what you want. Do you want the fake idiots to engage with you that are like super low level? Like, think of all the chargebacks you've gotten of like people that complained about your services and are like, we want our money back. They're usually low level people.
They all are.
They're
like
usually
all the people that, even this year we had 2 or 3 that, wanted their money back, and they were their cheapest jobs, and they emailed us 10 times.
That's why I don't do cheap shit. You know what's cheap shit? Cheap shit is wanting the results fast. Cheap shit is renting the shit, faking the shit, all like that's cheap shit. That's cheap shit. You like if you want to attract the real ones, just keep doing the work. Just like be cool with the smaller following. Keep doing the work. I cut the following down. I cut it down. The reason being is like fucking bots and things will accumulate through your accounts, and I'll look in there and like, cut this shit down, dude. I want to get rid of people. I unfollow people. I block people. I try to get rid of as much people as I can because I'm like, I want to minimize the amount of, what would you call it, like attrition that I'm getting from like all of the losers and maximize from the smaller, fewer, higher quality people. I can get a better return on investment of my time, energy, and money of having less and getting more out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I want. I don't
want
you
only have so much time. You can't spend no matter what you do, you can't talk to every single person. And so even I was telling my guys today, like giving them a coaching for when we go to these events, there's going to be a million people that are going to want your attention. And your goal is to figure out within a minute and it might be shallow, whatever, but you got a minute to decide if this is somebody you want to invest in or you want to move on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are just going to be there to waste your time and they're not serious. They just want to chat.
Yeah.
It's like you got to go to people that you think are somebody you'd actually want to connect with and build a relationship with, which is why, I spent time talking to you, or I talked to Zach Dingy from the Sales Leadership Summit. There's a couple guys that I had a good connection with them. Okay, let me keep talking to these people because I think that, we are both aligned with, the goals, and, you guys might be further along in your journeys, but I think there's benefits to gain on both sides.
Yeah.
And you just got to be very careful with your time.
Yeah, dude, and there's an easy way to like figure out how to avoid people. Like the easiest way in 2024 on figuring out like who to work with and who not to work with. You just ask people, where does all your money come from? And if they even say for 1 second that they're an online coach, then you just go on to the next person. Like you have to think of it this way. I was talking to my barber, the billionaire barber. He was like, we love consulting. You know what I mean? Love mentorship. We love development. But build a business, build something, and then give advice.
The quick money is it's so tempting. It's
1,000%.
It's so tempting because you're like
1,000%. So like that's life though. It's like you get a good girl and you lose a good girl for a side chick. A side chick, that could be tempting. Okay, that's tempting. A side piece. Maybe a good girl like finds a good boy, and then there's a little side toy that pops up. Now you lose a good boy, over for just a little good night. You had a great husband, you had a great wife, and you gave it up for a good night.
Yeah.
So you have a great opportunity, and you gave it up and ruin your reputation and ruin your name for a good year.
Yeah.
Markets are secular. You know what I mean? They go up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they wash things in and they wash things out. You got to find industries and things that like last, and find businesses that last and that won't tarnish your reputation when the cycle rinses and repeats itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you've done a lot of podcasts with a lot of guys who do the coaching and stuff like that.
Yes.
What's been your takeaway on that? I mean, obviously,
I respect people that make bread off coaching if you've built legitimate like I get super sick thinking about like if you don't have a business or something that you've built legitimately built, where you have the credibility, the certificate to even the qualification to speak on it and consult on it, then like dude, you're a fraud. So you can't do that. You know what I mean? You have one name. You have to protect your name with your entire life.
Well, that's it. It really does come back to just your character and your integrity. And a lot of people will, give that for the quick money. When I say quick money, I mean, you can make 5-10 grand getting a couple guys, but the long plays, I think that's what Eric was talking about, was none of these guys who have yachts are consultants, because that's more the quicker money. Whereas the longer money comes from building something up to where it has, value that can be sold for, a multiple or something like that. Like a business that you can exit.
Yes.
It just takes longer.
It just takes your life. The cost of a great life is to give up your life. So you have to live life anyway. So you really have two choices. You can live your life and just let it pass by and create a life of mediocrity, or you can live your life and give your life to building something special and create a great life. Either way, you have to live your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can live your life and quit on your dreams, and that essentially enters you into death. Or you can live your life and pursue your dreams regardless of the pain that it puts you through. There's no other way to create a great life. That's the price of a great life. It costs you your life.
I got a question for you. So do you see yourself as somebody who's materialistic?
No, listen. So I love nice things. I love like luxury things. I love luxurious experiences. I love luxurious customer service. I like to be taken care of, but at the end of the day, like I also grew up in the country on a farm, and I spent half my life growing up on food stamps and food bank lines. So it's like I could eat pizza also for the rest of my life, like cheap ass pizza, Tostino's pizzas. I don't know if you know what those are. 4 for $4 pizza. Yeah. Like we grew up, that used to be a privilege. We used to save, my mom used to save up all week just for us to eat the Pizza Hut dinner box. I think it was like $20. You know what I mean? Like it was like she saved up all week for us. Like we couldn't even do it every week. You know what I mean? I wanted that sucker every week. The cinnamon sticks with the cinnamon icing, bro. She would save up for that. We were, like it's crazy to think how far we've come, because like I couldn't rent the movies on demand for $3.49 because like we didn't have that bread. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like I spend $349 an hour now. It's like $3.49. Like I probably don't spend $349 an hour. That's an exaggeration, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's so crazy, bro. Like to think how far that was. I'm 25. That was less than 10 years ago. This is 9, 8, 7 years ago. Yeah. You don't know of like, hey, we don't have the money for that food. You know what I mean? What are we talking about? Like now I'm like in a position of like debating on buying first class flights to Ibiza, or because it's $30,000 to fly there and back, me and my girl first class, or just keep the regular poor people seats. You know what I mean? So I'm like, do I want to do 30,000 on flights, or do I want to fly poor? We didn't fly growing up. We want to go somewhere? Yeah. Hop in this car and let's hope it doesn't break down. You know what I mean? Let's hope it doesn't run out of gas. So it's materialistic. Yeah, I like nice things, but I have a balance of, I wouldn't be a absolute soft cupcake if this world were to go to absolute ice age times and I got to live off the land. You know what I mean? It is what, like, I'm wealthy either way. I'm wealthy with the money.
You'll learn how to build things.
Like, bro, listen, I'm a king either way. Yeah. I'm a king with this money, and I'm a king with, I'll pick up the sword and I will conquer the whole Miami physically. You know what I mean? Like, either way, it doesn't matter. So, like, I think that's kind of like the perspective for me. It's like, put me in any territory, I'm going to take over. Yeah. So.
That's what's up, bro.
Yes, dude. So, we're about an hour in. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on before we wrap up?
Well, I Honestly, I'm trying to move out here at some point soon.
You have to move here.
Yeah, I want to.
You'll double your income. You guys pay 93% in taxes. Or
it feels like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like that. Honestly, for me, my goal in the next 3 years is to scale up the business in a few other cities.
Yeah.
And have it fully automated where it can grow, because you don't really have a business unless it can actually grow without you.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of that, people think they have a business when they technically just have a job.
Yeah.
And then you might have a business, but if you leave, it might stay stagnant.
Yeah.
But I see a business that is actually a real business when you're not there, like Amazon, it's growing. You think Jeff Bezos needs to be there for it to fucking grow? No. It's growing every single day without him there. And so that's what I want to get to, where I've empowered the people in my business to go out there and grow it through conversation and through just the vision that we have. And then I'm going to get the hell down here.
You have to, bro.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have to.
I don't like the cold, bro. Honestly, I don't know
anybody that likes the cold. Usually just liberals.
I know some people up in Canada that like the cold, and it's just, I can tell them, the island vibes.
They probably like Trudeau also.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. They're lost.
Well, let's wrap with this. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a good one. I probably don't have a favorite movie. I have favorite movies in different genres depending on what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I like I would say one top legendary one would be like Django Unchained.
Django's so hard. I'm so glad you said that.
So hard. But then I also have the comic book shit. So I like, Marvel shit before it got all woke.
Oh God, no.
Before it got woke,
before
the good shit when it was good, and then it just got woke. And
like the original Hulks,
yeah,
like
exactly.
The Hulks before they made Hulk soft.
Exactly, before it got woke.
Yeah.
And then
they do a great job at ruining shit.
They do.
Like if you could get paid for ruining shit, Marvel would make
Disney.
Disney would was it Bob Iger? I think they fired him, hopefully, or
I think
whoever.
They did. I think he finally
know.
stepped down. After.
Maybe we can't even blame them. Whatever type of like hidden agenda, Rockefeller, influence, is going on behind the scenes that is causing the world to, make such crazy decisions like that.
What do you think is gonna happen if Kamala wins?
We're gonna go to war.
Yeah, we're fucked.
What do you think I'm training Muay Thai for, dog?
Yeah.
Here's something to think on that as we wrap up. My coach says this. He's like Tristan, you understand if a man can hold you down, he can do whatever he wants with you. And you think on that however you want to think on that. You imagine a man coming to your house, you know what I mean? Like, I'll black out and I'll beat him up. Like, no, dude. Like, there's some people that are professionally trained fighters that will hold you down. They can hold you down, choke you unconscious, and have their way in your household. You know what I mean? I'm taking your wife. I'm taking your money. I'm taking your weapons. Deuces. That's another reason I train is I think about like, and have you ever done jiu-jitsu or wrestled or anything like that?
I haven't. It's actually on one of my things because again, I was sports.
Yeah.
But I was in martial arts.
Yeah.
And now that like sports is kind of more the backseat, I want to get into martial arts because it has more practicality.
Go to a jiu-jitsu class, and when you get held down by a 140-pound man, and what do you weigh right now?
See, that's the thing. I don't think I will. But that's the thing.
I didn't think I would either. I could take you to one right now that's 150 pounds, and we'll hold both of us down. You know what I mean? Like
that's crazy to me.
Crazy, bro. And I've been training the last 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, and it puts into perspective of like, if you're not training physically with weapons and just preparation, because people don't realize like life is super precious and super sweet, but history repeats itself. I don't believe American soil has seen war for, what are we in 2024? What, over 100 years?
There's been a long time.
Way over 100 years, but like all it takes is one person to get pissed off. That's in super high power.
There's definitely like a spiritual warfare as well going on.
There's always spiritual warfare, but something
it's more prevalent
off
now.
And even less than something popping off. There's a lot of stupid crimes and stupid people out there right now. Somebody walks up into your space and they're a lot bigger than you, or they have some type of technical training. You need to know how to disarm this dude, and then you need to know how to like end the situation. So it's like with like clean as well, just for legal situations. So I think about that a lot. It's like I need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Without proper preparation, people fail.
Yeah.
So This was a fire podcast, man. We talked Canada, we talked your business, we talked growth, we talked life, Django, not getting held down by a man. You know what I mean? Incredible things, dude. Where can people find you if they want to work with you and get their gutters cleaned out by you?
Gutters clean. We mostly do installations now, but
you didn't catch what I was trying to put down. If you want to get your gutters cleaned out by Jackson. That's what you
Listen, if you're in Canada.
That's what you should put on a van.
Listen, if you're in
Canada,
get
a mobile van. It's like, I'll clean your gutters out tonight.
Squeaky clean, you know?
Squeaky clean, dog. No Diddy.
But no, you can check me out on Instagram, Jackson Certified. Yeah, bro, I really appreciate having me on the pod. Yeah. This is great.
I have to trademark that. You literally have to make content that says, no Diddy, I'll clean your gutters.
We'll see with that one.
That was fire, dog. Let's go. This is a fire podcast. Shout out Jackson. Peace.